Considering the potential privacy risks to society, should biometric tattoos be brought to market? Before we can answer this question, it's important to examine what this technology actually is, what its benefits are, what about it would open society up to privacy risks, and what the potential consequences of those risks are. So what is a biometric tattoo? Well, currently this technology is in the preliminary stages of being developed, but it already has a microchip, or if you're tech savvy, an Tiny 85 microcontroller that stores and receives data from sensors embedded in electroconductive paint. This paint, of course, is what connects the chip to the user's skin and allows it to monitor their temperature, blood pressure, and heart rate. This chip also allows the user to upload their banking information and their ID. Furthermore, these tattoos are able to transmit all this information and the user's location to their smartphone and or any organization or person authorized to receive it. Depending on the type of information and where it's going, this is done through either Bluetooth low energy, near-field communication, mesh networks, or GPS. Another important characteristic of this technology is that it is temporary in the sense that it can be simply washed off when the wearer wants to remove it. Taken all together, this is what a biometric tattoo is. Now, the company spearheading the development of this technology, Chaotic Moon, plans to primarily market this to the healthcare industry and the military. For the military specifically, they intend to develop it even further to allow it to detect poisons in the air and also pathogens in the service member's body as well. Chaotic Moon, however, it's also important to note that Chaotic Moon wants to make this technology affordable and accessible for the everyday consumer as well by selling it in bulk and at low cost. This means that if this product is a success, it has the potential to become ubiquitous throughout society. So, what benefits could this tech yield if this does end up being the case? Well, for starters, perhaps a more healthy society. This tech would allow people to better monitor their health. By better, meaning more frequently and potentially more accurately than the available smartphone apps or fitness trackers on the market today. This is because biometric tattoos are attached directly to one's skin, which makes them more likely to read vital signs correctly in real time, much like a telemetry device reads heart rates. As pointed out by Chaotic Moon, this information could also be sent to healthcare providers for the purpose of addressing any abnormalities, which could lead to illnesses being detected and treated sooner. As a result, the potential is there for this technology to aid in reducing society's overall health costs, while simultaneously increasing its general wellness. Another medical-related benefit this technology could provide is better care for people suffering from heart conditions and or dementia. For cardiac patients in particular, this technology could, in the event of an emergency, such as a heart attack, alert emergency services and utilize its GPS to direct help to the patient's location. For dementia patients, on the other hand, this same GPS feature could be used to track them in case they wander off, which anybody that has cared for these patients, including myself, can tell you it is a real concern. In short, this technology would allow patients afflicted by these conditions to live safer and more independent lives for longer. The benefits this tech could offer the military are centered around safety as well. For service members engaged in warfare, these tattoos could alert them to chemical and biological threats in their environment and aid in tracking them down via GPS in the event that they are captured by the enemy. Therefore, this technology could save lives on the battlefield. Although not as virtuous as helping members of society stay healthy or saving service members' lives, another benefit this technology could provide to society is convenience. More specifically, easier financial transactions. For example, according to Chaotic Moon's CEO, Ben Lamb, all a user would need to do to authorize a purchase or to transfer funds is perform a preset gesture or use their fingerprint on a tap-to-pay style device. As a result, Chaotic Moon claims people would no longer need to carry credit cards or other financial information on their person. For all these benefits, however, there is also a cost, and that cost is actual and potential loss of privacy. In fact, this technology puts all three of the key aspects of privacy at risk, and those are freedom from intrusion, control of information about oneself, and freedom from surveillance. There are two main reasons why. The first is that this technology is susceptible to attacks from hackers via how it transmits data. For example, a hacker named Mike Ryan during Toricon 14, an annual hacker conference that is held in San Diego, demonstrated that a heart monitor device utilizing Bluetooth low energy could be jammed and then spied on with another device called an Ubertooth. Similarly, near-field communication and mesh networks have also been proven vulnerable to attacks from hackers. The second reason is that anytime someone willingly provides an organization with information about themselves, in this case health and banking information, they lose a little bit of control over that information since it's no longer solely in their possession. Consequently, nearly all of the benefits that this technology offers can easily be turned into liabilities. These liabilities range from small to large. On the small end of the spectrum, someone's vital signs could be spied on, which, although is still an intrusion, this information cannot really be used to 100% determine a disease or condition that someone is suffering from, or even that someone is completely healthy. It could, however, reveal that something is wrong health-wise, which could be used by unethical organizations for marketing health products or sold by shady information brokers to interested parties, such as life insurance companies or lawyers. More serious risks, like identity theft or bank fraud, are also possible. Now, to put into perspective the magnitude of damage these more serious risks could cause society, consider that the U.S. Department of Justice's Bureau of Justice Statistics reported that the total financial loss in 2014 from identity theft alone was $15.4 billion. And that is not even including all the hardship that the victims faced getting their identity back, so to speak. But perhaps on the most extreme end of the spectrum, the largest liability would be carried by our troops. If terrorists are able to hack this technology and pinpoint the locations of service members in the field, then whole units would be susceptible to ambushes, which could result in a significant loss of life. Combined, these liabilities bring into question the merit of this technology. As a matter of fact, if one were to use rule utilitarianism to analyze this technology, the cons of it would outweigh its pros, especially when considering that the technology already exists, more or less, to perform many of its functions. Some examples are the following. The company Life Alert provides its customers with a wearable pendant that summons emergency services at the push of a button. Smartphone applications often have attachments that can monitor vitals. Apple Pay can be used for making purchases, and RFID chips can be placed in the clothes of dementia patients to alert their caretakers if they wander off. Or in other words, although this technology could significantly benefit society, there are other means to reap similar benefits without risking the potential damage this technology could cause. From a deontological standpoint, however, there is no argument against bringing biometric tattoos to market. This is because the potential damage this technology could cause is negated by the expectation that each person is universally responsible for their own actions, which includes being truthful. For example, Kant believed that even if a murderer showed up at your door and asked for the whereabouts of someone he or she fully intended to murder, if you knew where that person was, then you could not lie. Therefore, under this reasoning, if someone asked you for your vital signs and your banking information, you could not lie, even if they were a thief. This means the potential privacy risks of this technology are of no concern when viewed from a deontological perspective. In fact, all that matters in this case is that this technology is reasonably designed to benefit society, regardless if some dishonest people capitalize on its security weaknesses. Rawls, although for different reasons, would also arrive at the same conclusion. Under the veil of ignorance, the least advantaged are always favored. Since Chaotic Moon plans to sell this technology at low cost, it increases the chances that people from lower social classes will be able to afford it and reap its benefits, which otherwise may be out of their reach if the product is not brought to market. Furthermore, cardiac and dementia patients are a minority when compared to the majority of the population. So if this technology can improve their lives, it should be made available to them or their caretakers. Or simply put, this technology could benefit the least advantaged, so it should be brought to market. Two more key aspects to consider in making this decision are negative rights and the golden rule. Chaotic Moon and its potential buyers have a negative right to sell and buy this technology, respectively. This is because Chaotic Moon has the right to use its labor, skills, and collective mind to create goods without interference. And people, in general, have a right to buy or trade with others freely. These rights can also be tied into the golden rule. When applied under these circumstances, it can be rationalized that most people would want the option to either sell or buy a product, regardless of its potential to have a negative impact. Therefore, in either case, both would suggest bringing this technology to market. So what does this all mean? Which position is ethically just? Should we bring this technology to market or just let it die on the table? On one hand, rule utilitarianism has highlighted significant dangers about this technology, while on the other, Kant's theory and Rawls' veil of ignorance reveals its well-intended purpose and benefit to the least advantaged, respectively. But perhaps the strongest argument is provided by negative rights and the golden rule, and therefore, biometric tattoos should be brought to market, and this is why. Although under social contract theory, we give up some of our independence in exchange for the government to maintain stability in our society, the more of that independence we give up, the closer we move towards totalitarianism. Therefore, as long as a technology is not designed to specifically do harm to society, or by its very presence, overwhelmingly threaten to negatively impact it, which in this case it does neither, each member of society should be afforded the opportunity to decide on its merit in order to preserve the freedom of society as a whole to make similar choices in the future. After all, if not enough people see value in this technology, it will eventually disappear from the market anyways. That's all I got.